Welcome back, guys. This is part 2 to my Calamity Ring Challenge, Assassin's Run Through the Game. Last video, we finished off taking out Quelaag and her brother, the Ceaseless Discharge. I homeward Bone back to the bonfire, and now I'm going to make my way out of Blighttown. Before I go any further, I want to kind of show you the easiest way to get off the water wheel here. I know quite a few players even still struggle to get off this thing without dying. I'm going to show you the safest way to do it. It requires a little bit of patience. Normally when people get to the top, probably right about here, they attempt to roll off, and that's when they die. If you wait till you're at the apex of the wheel, then you're okay. So we're going to take out Taurus and Gargoyle today, and I know a lot of you guys wanted me to take out Sif first. But the thing about Sif is I want to see his new cutscene, and the only way to do that is to actually wait until the new content's finished. Normally I would take out Sif pretty early because he's not that hard of a boss. Once you know his patterns and everything, you can kill him with a pretty weak weapon. It might just take a while. The other reason I'm taking out Gargoyles and Taurus Demon first is because I'll be upgrading my weapon probably by the next video, making it a +10. And once I do that, a lot of the earlier bosses become trivial. So by staying at a +5 while I take them out, at least it offers a little bit of challenge. I'm also going to be using a bow a little bit more today than I did in the last video. Partly because this is an Assassin's Run, and I figured they would probably put a bow to use in a lot of situations. Also because I just never used a bow all that much. Other than taking out Ingward, I've never really played around with bows that much. So it'll be fun for me to kind of forcibly make myself use it in areas where I normally wouldn't. Maybe you guys will be able to see some other uses for the bow you hadn't considered, or just kind of see how powerful it is, even if it's only a +5. So I'll be doing quite a bit of running around today, so I'll have some time to talk about different things since there's not much going on screen. The first thing I want to talk about is the music itself. I know there's some mixed feelings about it. There seems to be kind of two schools of thought. One is that people really like it, either because they like the music or they just think I'm using it tastefully and it just kind of works. The other group of people absolutely despise the music, either because they think it's, quote, shitty, crappy, cheesy, or whatever, or they just don't like the idea of any music, whatever it may be, inside of a Dark Souls video. There's a third group of people that simply can't watch the video because it's blocked, either on their mobile device or they're in a different country. So the good thing about that is there are ways around it. I know that there's a website called ProxTube, which allows you to watch YouTube videos through a proxy server, so it doesn't recognize the country that you're in, so it should allow you to use it, to view it. The other thing is mobile users. I actually have an Android phone, and I'm able to watch these kind of block movies. The reason being because I don't actually use the YouTube app, because once you're using an app or a mobile style browser, it knows right away that you're on a mobile device, and it just simply won't let you watch it. But if your device has some sort of normal way of browsing where you can kind of bypass the mobile site and view it as a normal site, it should work. So for the guys that don't really enjoy the music, unfortunately for this playthrough you're going to be shit out of luck. I've already decided the format. I've been adding music, and I'm not going to change it up halfway in between. Now I know that kind of may sound like a dick move, but I'm just being honest here. I don't make any money on these videos. I just do it for the sheer fun of playing through the game and sharing that with you guys. But if I'm not having fun, then eventually I'm going to burn out and not make videos anymore. So if that means I end up losing a few viewers because people aren't happy with what I'm doing, I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. I mean, no matter what I do, I'm going to have viewers that enjoy the things I do, and I'm going to have people that don't enjoy it. And that's fine. I mean, you guys have the ultimate choice of either watching or not watching. That being said, I'm not going to add music to every single video in the future. I'll probably will only do this on this playthrough. Any playthroughs in the future I might do, or any other videos, will probably be back to the way I normally do it. It just sounded like something fun to do to make a really entertaining video. Adding a soundtrack is something I've been kind of wanting to do for a while, so I just decided to go ahead and do it. Speaking of viewers in general, I just realized, I think yesterday, that I hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. So that was kind of cool. I didn't really expect to ever have that many subscribers, considering I started out so small and I didn't really have any expectation. I just wanted to put some videos up. For the last couple months, I've been hovering around 600 or 700 subscribers, but then Epic Name Bro did a couple videos, dropped my name in there, and put a link on his page, on the video page, and I just got a ton of people in from that. So thanks, E and B. Also, there's a new influx of players, obviously, for the PC version, and the people that like the game are just kind of scouring YouTube looking for all the info they can get. So I'm sure I got quite a few people that just kind of happened upon my channel. So I just finished a long run all the way from Blighttown back to Andre. I'm going to upgrade my bow, grab a stack of arrows to make sure I don't run out. I'm also going to grab the armor and repair boxes. So now I'm going to make my way and take out the Hydra, because I want to save Dusk, because there's a couple spells she has that I want. But first I'm going to take out this Black Knight, and I'm going to show you guys a way to do it at a really low level. There's a lot of people that want to get the Black Knight halberd early, and they're having trouble because he doesn't always drop it. So basically what I have to tell people is you just got to keep doing it over and over until you get it. It only takes about 10 minutes from the very start of the game to reach this guy, but taking him out with a base weapon isn't always that easy. So the way I just did it there is the easiest way you can possibly do it. Doesn't matter what, you can even use your fist. All you gotta do is parry him and swing around for a backstab and kick him off the cliff, and it does wonders. So taking out the Hydra isn't particularly fun to watch. I've already covered how to beat the Hydra at low levels in 2 other playthroughs. So you guys can, if you really want to hear specifics about it, you can go watch those. Or you can just watch what I do and pretty much figure out the rest from there. So I thought I'd talk about something different. One of the most common questions I've gotten on the comments, and especially in private messages, is asking me how I got into making videos. And basically, this is not my first time making videos. I've done it before in the past, and now I've just kind of gotten back into it. I'll say up front, I'm not that comfortable talking about myself on video. I've never done it before, and it's really difficult to talk about yourself without coming off as vain or narcissistic. So I'll give it a shot. If you guys don't like it, we won't have to try to cover it again. If you do like it, it might be something I could do in a future video on a different topic about my gaming history. So there's a short and a long version. The people that asked the initial question probably won't be happy with the shorter one, so I'll put it in a little bit more detail. Basically, in the early to mid 90s, I was playing Street Fighter. I was knee deep in the Street Fighter culture, played it competitively, and I just absolutely loved the game. When the PlayStation came out, though, I was starting to get bored of it. After playing it for that long, I kind of wanted something different. So this game comes out called Tekken, and I really liked it. It wasn't as good as Street Fighter, not even close, but I saw potential in it, and I was having a lot of fun with it. So not long after that, Tekken 2 came out for arcade, and I felt it fixed a lot of the problems that Tekken 1 had had. So at the same time as that all was happening, I was just kind of starting to get my first computer, which back then, and it sounds funny, but not everyone had a computer back then. But I was also getting on the internet, which was still fairly young. It had been out for a while, but it wasn't as commercialized as it is now. So not everyone knew what www was back then. There was a Street Fighter site called Shoryuken, which was kind of like the main Street Fighter hub online. And other than a few random Tekken sites, there really wasn't anything very big or very good. So I took it upon myself to fill the niche. I decided Tekken was good enough to have its own webpage, and I just kind of went from there. I picked up a couple HTML books and learned how to code. Back then, coding meant you actually had to know the HTML code and use Notepad to edit it. This was before Microsoft Front Page and Dreamweaver were around. So anyway, I created this site called Tekken Web Project. Back then, I went by the moniker Slickatel, which has its own side story that I won't cover right now. I also wrote FAQs, or facts, whichever you like to call them. I just kind of anything I could do with Tekken at the time, I did. Also, there was no videos at the time online. There was no YouTube, there was no streaming video, and the video that did exist was pretty small resolution-wise. So basically, I decided that I wanted to do something more than just write about combos. I wanted to actually do them on camera and upload them to the internet for people to watch. Not many people were doing that yet. Other than Shoryuken doing some Street Fighter stuff, I didn't see anybody else actually doing that kind of thing. So I took it upon myself to figure out how to do it. I ended up buying a video capture card, which back then wasn't that easy to do because you couldn't just run up to your local Best Buy and pick one up. So I grabbed the capture card. I started using just Adobe Premiere, I guess it was. It's been a long time. And I started making videos. I used to do a lot of combo stuff and edit it all together in like a big combo compilation movie. I did some gameplay stuff. Eventually, when I got better at editing, I did these things called tribute videos, which is basically me taking a lot of the computer-generated footage from Tekken 2 and 3 and kind of splicing it together with gameplay and combos and adding some sort of soundtrack. Back then, I used to go to San Francisco, Japantown, and pick up a lot of the imported Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 remix CDs. So it just kind of blew up from there. I got contacted one day out of the blue from this little startup website called IGN. They wanted to use my site in their network. In fact, I was one of the first round of sites to be chosen. Back then, IGN wasn't like it is today. It was basically just a hub for a bunch of user-created sites because that's all that there was back then. You didn't have official sites for anything. Everything that was on the internet at the time was almost all user-based. So there was, I think it was like 13 of us that got chosen. I was like the main Tekken one. But anyway, I used to get paid for it. They would put advertising on my website, and anytime people would go view my site, I would get money for it. So I used to get a check every month. I think the most I got back then was like $300, which isn't that much money, but I just thought it was cool that I was making money doing something I enjoyed. I already had a real job, so I didn't really need the money. It just was kind of a cool thing to do. So when I first joined up, they sent me a bunch of merchandise. They were also part of a major like print magazine company who had all kinds of different magazines. So in order to promote their stuff, and they actually gave my site like a site of the month in this magazine called The Net, which I don't think exists anymore. But the best part was they actually gave me a couple tickets to E3 that year, which was extremely cool because getting into E3, especially back then, was very difficult unless you were somehow in the gaming industry. So eventually I got burnt out like most of us do when we do the same thing over and over for long enough. Work and school started getting in the way and I had less time. I had enough time to still play some games, but I just didn't have enough time to do anything extra. So a lot of time passed, you know, life takes over. And then all of a sudden YouTube shows up and just the whole internet video thing blows up. So when Dark Souls came out, I just saw another opportunity for me to have fun doing the things I like to do. I went out and bought a capture card. It was a Halbage Colossus, which is basically like an internal version of the HD PVR. I made a couple low-level PvP videos, and I ended up doing a playthrough where I was naked and had no shield and all that. And I just realized Dark Souls is like the perfect video game for doing YouTube playthroughs and stuff. It's one of those games that it's not linear. You can beat it at low levels. It just has so many opportunities for people to make content. And so that's just kind of how I ran with it. So back to the video, I just took out the gold golem to save Dusk. You'll notice there was like a little edit before that because after you kill the Hydra, you have to quit out and come back in before the golem shows up. So I basically ran to the cave and quit and came back in. I'm saving Dusk for two reasons. Number one is because you have to save her if you want to access the new content. And number two, there's a couple spells I want to buy. As I mentioned before, I was going to use a couple of the utility spells. It just seemed like something an assassin would probably have access to. So another topic that you guys have been asking me to talk about is my thoughts on the state of PvP at the moment. I can't really talk about that just yet because I want to make sure I have a firm grasp of it. And I just haven't played enough online with the PT version yet. Part of the reason is because it's just there's a lot of connection issues. A lot of the times people try to invade me, it fails, or I've gone to the arena and I'll sit there for hours and only get a couple fights. So I just don't have quite enough experience yet to actually speak with any sort of authority on what I think about it. But I'm going to be trying to do that here shortly. Then once I do and get a little bit more experience, I can give you some of my thoughts. So the main spell I wanted to pick up from Dusk was Hidden Body. Obviously, as an assassin, I want to be able to run around unseen sometimes. But I didn't want to take it to a total level where I was going to be invisible all the time. Had I wanted that, I would have went to the catacombs very early, killed Pinwheel, gone into Tomb of Giants and picked up the Skull Lantern, which is on the ground after you get kicked off by Patches. Then I could have taken it to the Asylum, dropped it for Snuggly, and she would have traded me a Ring of Fog. But the problem with the Ring of Fog is it kind of trivializes the game more than I wanted it to. You could basically run through the entire game invisible, and half the enemies won't even see you. Since I didn't want to do that, since I wanted this playthrough to be more entertaining, I figured Hidden Body would be a good trade-off. I only have 3 casts of it. It only lasts for 30 seconds each. So it makes me kind of think about when I want to use it more tactfully than just having it on all the time. I'm only going to allow myself 2 attunement slots. This way I can't have more than 2 utility spells up at once. I can if I use a Seance Ring, but the point being, it makes me think more tactfully instead of just kind of having everything I need at all times. So now I'm going to make my way up to the Parish so I can take out the Gargoyles. I have a lot of souls, but I'm waiting until I have a little bit more, because eventually I'm going to upgrade my attunement and my intelligence. I just don't have quite enough yet. Once I get into the Parish, I'm going to stop talking for a while and take a break on my commentary, and I'll throw a song on while you guys watch me go through the Parish. Speaking about commentary in general, I actually had this video done a couple days ago, but I just was not happy with the quality of audio on my commentary track. I bought this new headset about a month ago, and it actually had a worse microphone than the previous headset I had. So I played with it, I did everything I could do, I tried to equalize it, and I just can't get it to sound good because the source audio just sucks. So I kind of bit the bullet and decided to go out and buy a nice microphone. I bought an M Audio. It was about $100, which in the world of microphones is not very expensive, but compared to what I was using before, it's a vast upgrade. And hopefully you guys will notice that on this commentary track. Hopefully it sounds a lot better to you guys. So with the Gargoyles dead, I can mark another one off the list. Just as with the Quelaag fight, I almost got my ass killed by trying to taunt in the middle of the battle. Thank you guys for that little rule. Basically, I could have done it far away and done it safely, but I felt that was kind of cheesy because the whole point of me taunting the boss is to make it just that much more difficult. And you saw what happens when I don't time it correctly. Now I picked up the real first actual taunt gesture, the well, what is it? So now I can start using that instead of just using whatever makeshift ones I had. So now I'm upgrading my intelligence and my attunement so I can get my hidden body ready, which I'll be using very shortly. As I said earlier, I'm going to be using a bow a lot, and so here shortly, combined with hidden body, you'll see how powerful that combination is. Bows are already really powerful far away if you have a very high damage bow, because you can take out enemies before they even get to you. But when you combine it with hidden body, it's even more dangerous because not only will they probably not make it to you, they will never even see you to aggro. And speaking of hidden body in general, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between the Ring of Fog and hidden body. Now, a lot of people think that they're identical, and for a while I thought so too. But as many hours I've put into the game and I've played with both a lot, I can actually say pretty firmly that hidden body is actually superior. I know that the evidence is anecdotal because I haven't actually done some official testing, but I'm quite sure that if I did, I would come up with the same conclusion, and that is that they have different aggro ranges. Even though the effect looks identical, I believe hidden body actually has a smaller aggro radius than Ring of Fog does. I noticed this because with hidden body, I can actually get right up next to an enemy before he even knows I'm there. But with Ring of Fog, they actually see me coming before I actually get that close. As you're seeing right now, they don't even know I'm there. They're kind of looking around wondering who the hell's shooting them. So, I mean, you can tell how powerful it is. Now, if I had Ring of Fog, I'm quite sure that these guys probably would have aggroed and come running up the stairs at me. But with this hidden body spell, they simply just stand there stupefied. So I mentioned back in the first video that I'm trying to play through pretty efficiently in most areas. But as you can tell right now, I've stopped and kind of slowed down. I'm having a little bit of fun. The main reason is there's quite a few little tricks in the game, and I wanted to show people a lot of the different things you can do. Personally, when I played through the game for the first few times, there were spells and tactics I hadn't even bothered trying. I mean, I never even cast Hidden Body once, probably until my Sorcerer playthrough, because I just really never needed it. The same goes with Ring of Fog. So there might be people out here watching that have never really played with the utility spells. I'm just kind of showing basically what they're capable of. So right now I'm trying to get this Armored Boar pissed off so he comes a little bit closer to me. But even though I'm standing right there, he's just not cooperating. So I'm going to try to throw down an Alluring Skull, hopefully to bring him close. And then he kind of just goes apeshit. I'm not quite sure exactly what he's doing, but he's not cooperating. So my actual goal here was to do the plunging attack on the boar. And if you do it successfully, you get the special animation just as if you dropped on the Asylum Demon. A lot of people don't even know that that's possible, so I was just kind of trying to take some time to set that up. It ends up not working out, as you're going to see. But you notice that the Dregling came up to follow the Alluring Skull I threw. So that is a very interesting item. You can have a lot of fun with it, especially if you mix it with Hidden Body. So I'll probably be doing that a little bit later. Not through an Alluring Skull, I'm going to use the Oral Decoy, which is basically the spell version of Alluring Skull. So as you're watching, I'm going through the Parish backwards, making my way to the Berg. When you do that, something unique happens, and that's that the dragon doesn't show up. As long as you don't go through the very beginning of the Berg, where you get the animation of the dragon landing on the bridge, he actually never shows up. So if you don't like the dragon and you have no interest in getting his tail or doing anything with him, you can simply do what I'm doing here, go through it backwards to get to the Taurus Demon, and he'll never show up. So I'm sure there's a few of you out there thinking to yourself, but he's not a dragon. Yeah, I know he's not a dragon. He's a wyvern, or some people say he's a drake. The point being, everyone else refers to him as the Hellkite Dragon, so I'm doing it for simplicity's sake. You notice I got a humanity off the rat. They're a good place to farm humanity early on. The new content has offered a new area to get humanity at an even faster rate. But if you're low level and you need some humanity, that's the best place to do it. Nice failed pivot backstab that almost got me killed. I probably have like 20 hit points right now. Something else to bring up, I know that I'm using a shield and some of you guys don't want me to. I'm trying to wean myself off of it, but it's very difficult. I don't use the Grass Crest shield to actually block, I just use it because it has awesome stamina regen. Unfortunately, the Chloranthy Ring and Mask of Child both seem to do actually weaker stamina regen. Now it's kind of anecdotal, but it's, to me, after playing this long, it just feels like the Grass Crest is better. So again, I'm trying to wean myself off of it, guys. As soon as I get to Sins and I can actually buy some green blossoms from the merchant, I will definitely not use the shield anymore. So if you guys have seen my shortcut video, you've already seen this part. If you haven't seen it, there's a little shortcut there. It allows you to bypass a lot of the enemies, but in return, you have to take out a Black Knight. Now remember earlier I was saying that the hidden body seems to be better than Ring of Fog. Notice how even though he's up close to me, he kind of stuttered there for a little bit because he has a hard time seeing me. With the Ring of Fog, you don't get that. The instant I aggroed him, he would have ran straight at me, and from that point forward, he would have treated me like I was fully visible. So again, hidden body to me seems like it's actually a little bit better. So I'm almost to the Taurus Demon. I'm going to try to use a little bit of a trick here with a bow. Normally I just run and jump over the barrel when that guy drops it, but I wanted to see if I could aggro him up here and just take a quick shot, and I actually took him out and it worked, and you see the barrel falling down. So there's all kinds of little uses for the bow. Again, it's probably not really needed because most people can make it past the barrel pretty easily, but I'm just trying to do some fun things with it. So by taking that little shortcut, I actually wasn't able to get into the residence up there to get the resin that's located in that chest, but that was the point. I don't really need it. You guys might want to do it, so taking the shortcut would be pointless. I also can't do a Havel yet because I don't have the master key. If I did, I would have just went down there and got him real quick. The only other way to get to him is to get the key past the Moonlight Butterfly, but since I didn't take her out yet, I didn't have the option. I will probably come back and kill Havel later because I'm sure you guys want to see that. The reason I didn't take out the Moonlight Butterfly was because I just wanted to wait and do it when I killed Sif, because I only want to make one trip into the forest. So taking these guys out with a bow real quick so I don't have to climb all the way up there. Obviously hidden body works wonders still. They don't even know I'm there. Just do a couple headshots and take them out. So I was finally able to taunt a boss without taking damage, but then of course I almost died through a normal attack. Due to the Calamity Ring, I almost got completely one-shotted by the Taurus, which would have been sort of sad. That attack that I tried to dodge is very difficult to dodge, as you saw. I thought I timed it perfectly, but it still managed to hit me. I think it's because that has some sort of area effect on it, so even if you dodge perfectly, it still manages to hit you most of the time. I think if I had Darkwood Drain Ring, it probably would have worked. But it's best just to completely evade it than try to actually use your invincibility frames. Fans of Solaire, close your eyes. You kind of had to know what was coming. I never use Solaire or any other summon during my fights, so basically he's just a free stack of humanity. But anyway, this video is coming to a close. Next video, I want to be taking out the Capra, going into the depths and further, so I'll be able to get a +10 weapon going. At this rate, all I really have to do is raise my attunement 2 more points so I can get 2 slots, and then after that, everything I get is going to go into dexterity. That way I'll be able to keep the damage going. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time.